Hello! In today's video, I'm gonna talk about the best motherboards for Intel processors. This video is going to be very useful because we included both budget models without overclocking support and gaming models based on the Z390 chipset that allow you to overclock to the maximum. It's going to be interesting, so watch till the end. Like this video, subscribe to the Techno Dog channel and click on the bell so you will always be the first to watch our new videos. ASUS Prime H310M-R R2.0 is built on the most budget of the current Intel chipsets. The Micro ATX form factor motherboard has a very affordable price. That's why assemblers love it. The maximum memory capacity is 32 GB. Take into account that currently 16 GB are enough for any home or office computer. So this limitation, as well as the presence of only 2 slots for RAM modules, is not a problem. There are also enough USB ports, which is usually a problem. There are 2 second and third version ports on the back, but if necessary, you can use a few more on the case and with the help of an additional USB extension. 4 SATA 3 slots allow you to connect the solid-state drives or hard drives. Unfortunately, there are no M2 slots for the fastest SSDs. The budget audio codec ALC887 produces a good sound, which given the cost of the solution is a definite advantage. In general, the H310M-R R2.0 is a fine example of the budget sphere. It is a simple motherboard, it doesn't have a big power subsystem or additional motherboard interfaces, so it's the best fit for everyday work at home, school, or office with inexpensive computers. Like many other motherboards based on the popular B360 chipset, the MSI B360M PRO-VDH offers an attractive quality to price ratio. In addition to 4 slots for RAM modules, the model has 6 SATA 3 ports and 1 M.2 slot. They allow you to install a high-speed solid-state drive. There are enough USB ports for any task. There is the Type-C port and the usual Type-A of the second and third versions. Unfortunately, there isn't the processor overclocking factor. This is possible with the motherboards based on the Z370 and Z390 chipsets. Well, in terms of other characteristics, the device turned out to be a high-quality and balanced one. It is suitable not only for office and home multimedia PCs, but also for mid-range gaming configurations. Among the disadvantages of this motherboard, I can only mention a rather thin textured light. ASUS Prime B360M-K is another motherboard based on the B360. It is slightly inferior to the previous in the number of connectors, but there are still some demand due to its low cost and excellent manufacturer reputation. Despite the fact that the model has only 2 slots for RAM slots, Taiwanese engineers did not forget about the SSD connector, as well as the SATA 3 ports for connecting hard drives. There are 6 of them. The integrated sound and network cards work with their tasks perfectly. There are also the USB connectors of various versions, which is quite nice. Though the motherboard's cooling capabilities are rather modest, there are only a couple of 4-pin connectors for fans, and one of them is reserved for the CPU cooler. If it wasn't for this disadvantage and the presence of only 2 memory slots, the Prime B360M-K could be an almost perfect choice for its price category. But now, it is just a good choice. GIGABYTE Z390UD is a higher class solution comparing to those presented earlier. It is not only because of the overclocking support, which obviously comes from the chipset, but also because of the additional radiators, as well as an increased number of fan connectors. The processor power subsystem is also interesting. It has 10 plus 2 phases and 6 PCI Express slots. The AMD Crossfire X technology is also supported. By the way, Those who like to overclock the percent to 4.8 or more GHz can relax. With the adequate organization of airflows inside the system unit, none of the elements of the motherboard overheats. It's all because of the radiators located in the right places. If we talk about the disk subsystem, there are 6 SATA ports, which are enough for any gaming or high-performance working configuration. Although just one M.2 connector might not be enough. If this doesn't matter to you, then the GIGABYTE Z390UD will be a good choice. It is an inexpensive and high-quality motherboard based on the most advanced mass Intel chipset. ASRock motherboards are popular among users for its quality to price ratio. The ASRock Z390 Pro 4 is truly an excellent illustration of this principle. The model immediately stands out because of the presence of 2 M.2 connectors, which is very important in cases where you need to connect a pair of solid-state drives. Although you should remember that using one of these ports deactivates one of the SATA ports. Thus, without the use of additional controllers, you can connect up to 6 drives to the motherboard. It is enough for home or work assembly in around 95% of cases. I am glad that the manufacturer has added a big set of USB connectors. There are both Type-C and USB 3.1 Type-A on the rear panel, with the already common USB of the 3rd and 2nd versions. 6 more ports can be added additionally. As for the fan headers, there are 3 of them in addition to the standard processor. It only lacks built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, otherwise it would be perfect. But you can have these only at more expensive motherboards. Anyway, the ASRock Z390 Pro 4 offers excellent functionality for its value. You can say that this is a product for games right away, not only because of its name, but also because of its aggressive design. The presence of additional heatsinks and 4 fan headers without even including the standard processor. In combination with a reinforced subsystem, its power supply allows you to uncover some good examples of Coffee Lake refresh processors, even up to 5 GHz. The board is a solution for enthusiasts and advanced gamers. It is also well suited for self-assembly of the computer because of its included detailed guide. Like other manufacturers of gaming motherboards, MSI has a lot of USB connectors and ports for the disk subsystem. If desired, you can install 2 NVMe solid-state drives and 4 hard drives. In short, the MPG Gaming Plus model came out very successful, despite small compromises made for the reasonable price. GIGABYTE Z390 Gaming X is a standard ATX gaming motherboard equipped with additional heatsinks, including M.2 connectors and a 10+2 phase power subsystem. Thanks to a well-thought-out engineering design, the model does not overheat even when using the hottest overclocked Intel processors. For example, i9-9900K. It's important not to forget about providing adequate air circulation inside the system unit. 1 or 2 coolers for air intake and 2 for air output is enough in most cases. As for the disk subsystem, everything is pretty standard for this price category. There is a couple of M.2 slots and 6 SATA 3. While using one of the first slots, it makes impossible to use one of the second slots. There are 7 USB ports on the rear panel of versions 3.0 and 2.0, although there is no Type-C port, which can upset some people. Perhaps the main advantage of Gaming X is its overclocked game configurations. So, if comfortable temperature indicators for components are important for you, it's worth it. If you liked this top best motherboards of Intel processors, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the TechnoDog channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications by clicking on the bell, so you'll always be the first to watch our new videos. Thank you, and see you soon.